Hi everybody, Cheryl, Lady, and Fluffer, coming to you from the Lady's Garden and Home. We're at the beginning of a polar vortex. We're hunkered in inside, so I thought it would be a perfect time to harvest my tropical ginger. I know, it's weird. Hope you join us. So back in July, I planted some ginger that I just bought from the grocery store. It was an organic chunk of ginger, and I let the ends kind of sprout a little bit, and then I planted them in these rather flat but wide containers. The pots are probably about, I would say, 8 inches around. I had 3 of them. They grew very beautifully outside in July on my deck. The ginger is impressing me with its beauty. I'm very happy. This was just supermarket ginger that I cut into 3 pieces and planted. And then I brought them inside when the temperature started dipping below 50 with the rest of my house plants just to keep them warm, and I put them on my sunny little tea cart. Around January, one of them started looking like this. And I thought, oh shoot, it's dying. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, the other ones are doing pretty well in the same spot. Maybe it's just ready to harvest. So I did. Right, Layla? I dug it up, and I realized that I had grown quite a lot of ginger, and that was in January that I did that. And it's in this pot now. It hasn't sprouted yet, but I'm hoping it will. It's too cold to work outside, otherwise I'd be doing this on the potting bench. These plants that were growing outside in July, they kind of had marigolds self-seed in them, so I do want to keep those. I'm going to pot those up. This one I'm going to let grow on until that turns brown too, so we won't be doing that today. But this one really, it's time. Come on, Layla, sweetie. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is remove the marigold. You helping, Mama? All right, I'll fill that with dirt in a little bit, but I want to get onto the ginger. All right, just, whoop, there's a piece. I might just replant this and leave the root system in there. I mean, I might as well just go ahead and use the same pot. This is definitely a project I would have liked to have done outside. All right, so so this is what it looks like, and I'm just gonna and you see how it has these little pieces that kind of just break apart like that? When I planted this in the first place, I just bought some organic ginger from the supermarket. It was a piece a little bit bigger than this that I broke into 3 pieces. And then you see how it has like little fingers, right? And where these fingers are where sprouts start, kind of like the eye of a potato. Can you see that? So if you plant those up, you see how the roots trail down, but if you plant these up, they'll grow up like that. And they do make beautiful plants. So I'll pick a nice one to replant, and then the rest I'm going to freeze. Now you could also slice this up and dry it if you had like a dehydrator, or if you wanted to use your oven. Like I use my toaster oven for a lot of things like this. So we've got a nice piece of ginger here that grew in that little pot in just a matter of months. Yeah, that's it. I got the whole thing. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do is, since this one that I was showing you has some eyes already forming, I'm just going to go ahead and replant this in here. I'll give it a good water. And I'm going to let it grow on inside, and then I will put this outside, provided it sprouts and everything, after the last chance of frost has passed. That's usually, well, they say my last frost date, the average is April 30th, but around here, to be sure, we usually go by Mother's Day, around the middle of May, just to make sure that it's warm enough for the things that really, really like warm weather. So, ginger, I'm sure, would be in the same category as, say, peppers or tomatoes when it comes to wanting the temperatures to be nice outside. But I'm going to keep them in this pot because I think it worked very well. I'll just add some fertilizer to it like I did with this one. They liked this pot, and as you can see, bunch of ginger I got. Now I'm going to rinse this off, and then I'll show you what I did to process and freeze it. Lately, when I've been working with soil in my sink, I've been lining the sink with some paper towels because my sink's draining a little slowly and my garbage disposal isn't working, so I really don't want to clog it up with mud. So, just gonna give these a, oops, wrong way. Give them a good squirt. Get as much of the dirt off as possible. Now, if you were to plant your ginger from the supermarket like I did, it would be a good idea to soak the root ball in water first for a couple of days, and also let it sprout, because it's going to be older. It's not going to be new with living roots on it like this. This is so cute. And you want to kind of bring it back to life in the water. Yeah, you won't get those roots when you get them at the supermarket. Now, if you want to keep this and just use it fresh, it lasts a pretty good amount of time. I think you probably want to keep it out of the sun, and you probably want to keep it someplace dry. But the outer shell starts getting very hard after a while, but the ginger inside is still good. Alrighty. I want to water this before I forget. And this was good fresh potting mix When I first planted the ginger, I don't think it needs much amending. Like I said, I'm just gonna put a little bit of fertilizer in it when it starts to sprout. I don't want to forget the little marigold. Here's some potting mix that I made with my recipe. I'll link that. It's a good video if you haven't seen it yet for this time of year when you're starting to plant things. But when I have some left over after I make a batch, I keep it in this big plastic bag. Hello, little marigold in February. So now I'm just going to start peeling it. And, you know, there still might be some mud, but keep just rinsing that off. But I just use a very, this is very tender, and I don't want to waste a lot of it. So I'm just going to gently, with my potato peeler, peel the skin back. There are a lot of medicinal properties of ginger. It's very good for inflammation, to help inflammation. I cook with it. I actually made a oh, it was so good, an orange ginger pork dish the other night. It was so good. A little garlic. By the way, when I freeze my garlic and my onions to preserve them, I basically do the same thing. I'm going to give it another rinse. I'm going to continue to do the rest of my ginger, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how I chop it and freeze it. Okay. Little ginger scraps for the compost jar I've got here. Boy, does it smell good in this kitchen now after cleaning all of that ginger. There's nothing like it in the world, that smell. I just love it. Okay, that's how much that one plant, that one root yielded. Not too bad. And then I showed you this little contraption on a previous video. But basically, it's like a handheld chopper. It literally works with a string. It's got two blades in there that chop up. And depending on what you're chopping and how fine you want it, and this is very easy. It's not like it's strenuous or anything. Of course, if you have, you know, one of those Cuisinart type things, you can do it that way too. But so there you go. Okay, and then to prevent it from being a solid lump, when I go to put it in the freezer, I get it as flat as I can get it. Let all of the air out. And then using like this beef skewer, it could be anything, it could be a knife or whatever you want. I make indents with a little space between them. About, maybe it would be like a half a teaspoon size. This way, you can grab what you need. and then I just freeze it flat. It comes out looking like this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little something. What I learned is that even a tropical plant can surprise you in the middle of winter during a polar vortex. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, and I hope you subscribe to the Ladies Garden and Home. Enjoy your gardening journey. Bye! Oh, that ginger smells so good. You like ginger? Do you like the smell of ginger? Yeah? You like the smell of ginger? No, not so much? What about you, Fluffer? No? All right, so far, me and Layla happen to be the fans of ginger, so. Bye!